Hello, welcome. So I wanted to do, I guess, just like a little vlog of a week in my life working on schoolwork for my 2 art classes. So yeah, right now I'm taking 2 art classes at a community college and they're online because of the pandemic. So I thought it would be interesting to document that and what that's like taking art classes online. And I know it's probably different in many different schools and stuff. So, but this is just what I'm doing. So yeah, the classes that I'm taking are intermediate drawing and painting, beginning painting. So their format is pretty chill. I just have to, for my drawing class, my professor just emails the assignments every week and we can email him with our progress throughout the week if we want feedback, and he sends like a video back. And when he sends the assignment, it's like he records his lecture and the demo drawing, so we just watch that, and then you can let him know if you have questions, you can email him for feedback, and you can schedule a meeting with him if you want to talk like in real time. So yeah, and then with that, like your still lifes, because a lot of the work is from still lifes, that's a little hard, I guess, because you don't really have the props and the setup and the space that you would have in person, so you have to do that yourself. So you can see this is where I've been doing a lot of my still life setups for class, because I can plug in my light right there and shine the light. My professor did send like ways that you can configure a setup, a still life setup, when you don't really have a lot of control over the lighting. Basically, like he just recommended using a box and stuff. So I haven't gotten that yet, but I think it's been fine. And I just like use stuff that I have in my house. And it is my second drawing class. Well, actually no, at this college is my second drawing class, but I've taken a few drawing classes before, so I feel like it's not too hard for me to think of different objects that I have in my house that would be decent to draw, like that could make for a good challenging setup. Yeah, and then one of the problems that I do have is that, because, well, this is a problem that I kind of had in person too, because in previous classes that I've taken, you have to sit on like that horse style easel thing, and that's kind of uncomfortable. And so here at home, I just have my drawing board on the floor, and I just sit on the floor because I don't really know of any other way that I could do it. I considered buying an easel, but I'm not sure if I will do that soon, just because it still works for the most part, and I feel like it's not more uncomfortable than like if I was in person anyway. I'm not sure. So yeah, that is another issue. And I am pretty lucky that I do have a decent amount of space in my living room to be able to have like all my school stuff and art supplies here. And I'll show like my table and stuff in a little bit. Yeah, and I'm generally able to, I'm one of the people in my house who uses the living room the most, and not really just me and like my husband use the living room, so it's like not really a big issue if I take up this space and use it for like hours, which is good because it's pretty much the only space in my apartment that I have space to do anything like this. So that would probably be really hard if you don't really have space, but I feel like, I actually have set up still lifes in my room and drawn. It's just been really tight, so I think you can still do something if you have tight space. You just have to be creative and like just be okay with not really being able to travel through spaces, I guess, as easily. I don't know, it just depends on your space, but yeah, so that's one thing. Yeah, so that's the drawing class, and so we don't meet live. And then my painting class, we also don't meet live, and he the way he sets it up, that professor, is a little more complicated. So, but it's essentially the same thing where he has all of the class instruction on Canva online, and you go through it, and there's just different projects that we are doing throughout the semester, and there's different deadlines of when you have to have certain stages of it done, and we don't really get credit for that, but it's just there so that you can send it and get feedback in a timely manner, so that you can submit the final project on time and with enough feedback. And he encourages you to send stuff in more often than those deadlines he puts, but those are like the bare minimum. So it's kind of the same thing for that, and I just use my living room space for that again. I don't know if you could see that well, but that's one of the projects that we're working on right now. I tried taking this class before, but I had to drop it just because I don't even remember why, but I'm taking it now again online, and I think it's fine compared to in-person instruction. It is kind of tricky when it comes to like actually seeing your work and seeing what the still life that you're working from. For my painting class, we've just been using photo references, but for the drawing class, we've been using our still lives. So we have to take a picture of our setup and the drawing to send it for feedback. Sometimes it is a little difficult when you're photographing your work and the reference to, you know, photograph it in a way that's accurate to what is in real life. But it's not like that big of an issue, and a lot of the feedback can still apply even if the photos weren't as true to color or lighting as in real life. Yeah, at least that's how it's been for me so far. And because my classes are not in person, or like there's no even online meetings, because I did have a class last semester that we did have one online meeting a week, but even then it wasn't the same amount that you would meet in person. But because of that, you don't obviously get as much scheduled time to work on your assignments as if you were in a real life class, because usually these classes are probably like 6 to 7 hours of class time scheduled, and then on top of that you're expected to, you know, work outside of class probably the same amount, 6 to 9, 10 hours a week, just depending. So that's not really built in for you, so you have to find that time for yourself and schedule it. And I mean, obviously, not obviously, but like for me, sometimes, a lot of times that hasn't happened. Like I end up just spending less time on it, and so I'm not really sure if, you know, maybe my work is not progressing at the same level that it could be if I was in person and kind of more so being forced to work for longer on my things. But I don't think it's that bad. I feel like I'm still able to progress and improve my skills this way, but you know, that's just something that's up to you, because you have control over that for the most part. But yeah, that is something that's can probably be hard for some people. But yeah, honestly, but there's not really much that I've been doing for these classes other than just working on the assignments, and it's maybe kind of boring. Yeah, so I just like work on, like for my drawing, I just worked on it, sent some photos to my professor, got some feedback, worked on it more, sent another set of photos, got more feedback, and then I just did a little bit more today and then sent it in for final grading. Yeah, so it's pretty much, that's just what's happening. And then it's the same thing really with the painting, and then just with the painting I'm working from a photo reference, which, yeah, I'm working from a photo reference, and it's the same thing. I have to work on it more today so that I can send it in for feedback, and that's literally just all that it is and it has been. So it's pretty simple at Ely in that manner. Yeah, it does get kind of lonely and boring because you're not able to work like in a studio setting with other people and see their work. well, actually, so kind of, like, you're not able to work with people at the same time, and I think that that is a really fun experience. Although with my painting class, he does encourage us to post our progress and our paintings on like a forum, and we can comment on each other's work like that and see each other's work. And it is nice to see other students' work and to share your work. And with my drawing class, unfortunately, he's doing it like really basic, where we're just sending it directly to him. So, and no one's really using the online learning platform, so I'm not really able to see other people's work. So it can be boring in that aspect, and yeah, you just kind of miss out on the ambience, like I said, of being in a studio and being surrounded by other people working on the same thing and being focused. Yeah, and like I said, I'm lucky where I can just use my living room, but if you don't really have a space where you can kind of like control the environment, I'm pretty sure that that could probably be really hard if you have a lot of distractions. And I do sometimes have a lot of distractions, but I just try to put on headphones for that. And sometimes I put TV on, or sometimes I put YouTube videos on. It just depends. You can put podcasts on. I just try to listen to different things, although I can't really listen or watch something that I like really want to pay attention to, just because for me, like, I am focusing on that, and it'll make me do like a worse job if I'm distracted by something like that, like a TV show or podcast that I actually want to pay attention to. It is good for me too, because I work and I have other responsibilities. So right now, like, the situation, I would say, like, has more pros than cons to it for me because of that. And I'm actually kind of worried for when the school goes back to in-person instruction. Yeah, I'm just worried about like my time and the stress that might bring, because then you have to like include commuting, and then when you commute you have to worry about like food and transporting all your materials. And I mean, that's not a big deal for me because I have a car, but even then, like, just like the whole act of getting ready to leave the house and preparing to be outside for an extended period of time, it just adds a lot of more time to your day that you have to devote to that, and energy. And so yeah, I'm just worried that that will be stressful, and I might not be able to do as much if that happens, because that might happen as soon as next semester in the fall of 2021. So yeah, but I'm just seeing how this goes for now, and I'll just figure that out, I guess, when it happens, if it happens soon. Yeah, but that's pretty much going to be it for this video. Hopefully it was informative or enjoyable in some way. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. Bye.